Subscribe to Drama YT and press the bell icon to get the latest videos first of the all. Hey guys, how are you? It's K2 and welcome back to Drama YT. Let me say this clear, this is gonna be epic. At least from my point of view. I was planning to make this video for a while now and today is the time. And I must bring out my utmost love for my C-dramas. I am sure if you are watching this video, you pretty much have already fallen in love with different genres of Chinese dramas. Since the late winters of 2017, I started my journey in this world of C-drama fantasies, and in this video, I am going to share all of that. As in this video, I will be counting down my top 100 Chinese dramas of all time. I must admit that I thought it will be easy, that I have 100 spots, so I can easily put all my favorite one. But you have no idea that what I have experienced while making this list. I got confused sometimes that which C-drama I love the most, which one is a little extra special, and which is just a one-timer. I have still left out some of the dramas which still could have made into this list, and I am really sorry that I was not able to put them in. And for you guys, I am 200% sure that no one is going to watch this big of a video. So just add this video in your watch later list or any of your favorite playlist. And check the description box to jump to any section of this holy video, as all the dramas with their timelines are mentioned there. Now, if you guys appreciate my work, just give this video a like and consider subscribing to Drama YT, and also check my backup channel C-Drama List. I think I have already talked enough said, and this video is going to be very long, so now let's hit that damn intro.
Who got the power?
Number 100. Legend of Fei. Zhao Fei is the granddaughter of a national hero who was forced to become a bandit to serve the greater good. For 20 years, her grandfather, then her mother, were charged with running a secret fort staffed by bandits. The fort's role is to protect the world against strange and otherworldly warriors intent on bringing their unique brand of chaos to the mortal realm. However, the fort has fallen in status in recent years, and Zhao Fei is sick of being confined to the place of her birth. She longs to escape and makes repeated efforts to get away, but her life changes forever when she almost drowns and is only saved by a free-spirited young martial arts expert named Xion. The duo forms an unlikely friendship and decides to hone their fighting skills together. A timely decision, as malevolent forces are now plotting fresh trouble. The pair begins on an adventure, but as time goes by, they begin to unearth secrets, including that of Xion's true identity. Number 99. My Girl. As a child, Mengyu was involved in a terrible accident. Though she has borne the physical scars of that moment on her face all her life, it's the mental scars that have caused the greatest damage. Traumatized by the event, Mengyu's developed a DID, dissociative identity disorder, which causes her to switch between two distinct personalities at random. Never knowing when her alternate personality might emerge, Mengyu has struggled all her life to find a balance between her two sides. Now grown, Mengyu works as a makeup artist who has started creating her own small line of homemade cosmetics. As fate would have it, she happens to cross paths with Seni, the CEO of a large cosmetic company, during one of her episodes, and suddenly declares herself to be his girlfriend. Though shocked by the sudden outburst, Seni decides it's better to save face by playing along than make a scene in public. Seni is rewarded for his seeming gallantry when he discovers not long after Mengyu has developed a liquid foundation that has the potential to revolutionize the cosmetic industry. Desperate to get his hands on her formula, Seni continues to play the part of a devoted boyfriend, a fact that shocks Mengyu once her alternate personalities relinquishes control. Though at first only interested in Mengyu's formula, Seni soon finds himself falling for the girl fate seems to have thrown into his life, and even more surprising, she seems to be falling for him too. However, the relationship is put to the ultimate test when Mengyu learns that Seni was the one responsible for the accident that changed her life all those years ago. Will their love become the salve that heal their deepest wounds, or will they find that some wounds really do have permanent scars. Number 98. General and I. In a world ravaged by war, the four great nations, Jin, Yan, Liang, and Xin, are ceaseless in their pursuit of power and ultimate domination. In the midst of this endless conflict, the nations of Jin and Yan clash and the great house of Jin falls. Forced to flee, the Jin prince, Hixia, and his brilliant military strategist, Bai Pingting, escape death. But fate is not on their side. Separated during the Exodus, Hixia makes his way to the kingdom of Bailan to pursue revenge against the kingdom of Jin. Meanwhile, Bai Pingting finds herself at the mercy of Chubezi, the Jin army's greatest general and nation's most beloved prince. Immediately recognized by the prince as the girl he fell in love with years ago, Bai Pingting soon finds herself the object of her greatest enemy's desire. Eventually, recognizing Chubezi as the boy she once loved, Bai Pingting gives in to the desires of her heart, setting into motion a complicated romance that pits the desires of the heart against the loyalties both have for their kingdoms. Number 97. Flourish in time. Childhood friends Zhang Haiyu and Liu Miao grew up like brother and sister, always having each other's back. He helps her with the schoolwork and she protects him from being bullied for his disability. As Liu Miao enters high school and makes new friends, she gradually realizes that her feelings for Zhang Haiyu go beyond that of his siblings. She chases a rival, bring upon a strong sense of unease for Zhang Haiyu. Soon enough, the brother and sisterly love evolves into young love. Number 96. Find Yourself. A love story between an accomplished career woman and a younger man. He Fanxing's company is at risk of being acquired, while her relationship with Yuan Shong faces societal pressures due to their age difference. The consecutive blows in her work and love life push her to an emotional quagmire, and it is during this time that Ye Luming enters her life. Being older in age, he is mature, stable, and knowledgeable. He becomes He Fanxing's life coach and the source of conflict between the couple. For He Fanxing, it's not merely a matter of choosing the man that she loves, but considering the contradictions of adapting the traditional mindset on marriage as well. Number 95. Mysterious Love. Quirky and adorable theatre actress Ruan Nyanshu meets Li Ting, a cold and arrogant guy who possesses both high EQ and IQ. Li Ting saves Ruan Nyanshu from a dangerous situation, and then the two develop feelings for each other. But then they got separated due to their different life tracks. 5 years later, the two reunite and their feelings for each other rekindled. However, the two are faced with a new danger as they work together to unravel the antagonist's scheme. Number 94. The Best of You in My Mind. Lin Shichi is a college student majoring in veterinary medicine. She is well liked and known for being bright and cheerful. Although on the inside, she is more insecure than she would like to let on. Also attending the same university is her childhood friend, avid archer, and national defense student Shu Fang. He has had a crush on Lin Shichi since they were both at school, but has never plucked up enough courage to let her know. Although he can be quick-tempered with others, he always treats Lin Shichi with great tenderness. When she loses a bet connected to an arm wrestling bout, Lin Shichi has to forfeit a month's living costs, a twist of fate that brings the two ex-school friends closer together than ever. And one evening, their friendship is turned upside down when Shichi gets drunk and long-suppressed emotions suddenly come to the shore. Number 93. Sunshine of My Life. Tang Min-xuan is the workaholic general manager of the highly successful Mingwan fashion group. Married to his job, he is a consummate professional and has all but resolved to remain single so he can focus his time and effort on making sure that his business endeavors go off without a hitch. But life changes forever on the day he meets Mo Fei at a designer fair. She is a lively young woman with a passion for traditional embroidery and plans to hone her skills by studying in Europe. Although they adore spending time together, they refuse to consider the notion of changing their own long-set plans. So the day finally comes when Mo Fei must set off for Paris and Tang Min-xuan stays in China, working on his business plans. But love will not be shunted aside so easily, and when the opportunity to launch a European fashion ventures comes up, the duo is said to be reunited as business partners and perhaps more. Number 92. The Rational Life. Sen Roshin is a 30-something professional who decides to take a stand against unfair societal expectations. At her workplace, she finds herself drawn to two different men. One, her trusted younger assistant, the other, her bachelor boss. Knowing she is considered a leftover woman weighs heavily on her. Will she opt to marry the man society deems appropriate, or will she listen to her heart and screw up the courage to pursue a romance with the younger man? Number 91. Professional Single. Single since birth, Yuanxi and Sinsen are two people who will probably end up being single for life because they want to. Set against the backdrop of an art school, the story follows students who overcome many difficulties to pursue their artistic ideals. Shinsen is a student who dreams of becoming a sculptor. A freshman in their department, he is like a god-level existence in their school, cold, disciplined, and a perfectionist. However, girls mean nothing to him, and he finds dating to be a complete waste of time. Yuan Xian has the appearance of the cute girl next door, but has a headstrong personality. She is eloquent and determined, such that no one can stop her once she sets her mind to something. However, she has a tendency to pick at other people's shortcomings, so much that no guy can even impress her. Number 90. I don't want to be friends with you. A high school student time travels 20 years earlier to meet her mother in her younger days. Li Jinbu and her mother have always leaned on each other. A magical journey brings Linbu 20 years earlier where she meets her mother Li Xintong, and they become fast friends. Coming from different generations and having different personalities, they run into funny situations. Through their time together, Li Jinbu gets to know her mother's forbearance and bravery. Number 89. Sweet Teeth. Dentist Aging Shu, who also teaches at Dongwu University, is known to be the most handsome man at the school. University librarian Zheng Li, however, is prejudiced against him because of a little misunderstanding. When Zheng Li's mother forces her to get braces, she tries to avoid aging Shu at all costs, but eventually still ends up becoming his patient. As the two interact more and more with each other, Zheng Li realizes that aging Shu is actually a very professional and caring person and starts to develop feelings for him. Number 88. Legend of Yunse. The story follows a lady doctor called Han Yunshi who marries into the royal family and gets caught in the political affairs of the palace, while she falls into a romance with her husband also. The story takes place during a chaotic time when the land has split into three kingdoms: Tianning, Western Zhou, and Northern Li. The emperor of Tianning is cunning and distrustful and fears his own subordinate Long Fei. To dampen his spirits, the king arranges for Long Fei to marry to an ugly woman named Han Yunshi. Han Yunshi, on the other hand, is a kind and talented woman who comes from a medical family and is adept with poisons. She is also forced into obeying the decree of the king and becomes a royal consort in the name only. However, circumstances allow her to show off her skills time and again, winning the admiration of Long Fei. At the same time, she also forms a friendship with Gu Shishao, the master of Yaogui Valley. Number 87. Dating in the kitchen. Working at the Zizing Hotel, Gu Shengnan was an underestimated commis inside the kitchen, but she was free to express herself through her food as she sharpened her skills as a chef. To make matters worse, an unfortunate misunderstandings land her on the wrong side of her soon-to-be the boss, the sharp-tongued CEO, Lu Jin. As a business prodigy, Lu Jin isn't afraid to make the tough decisions. Ready to condemn the Zizing Hotel, Lu Jin changes his mind after a happy accident brings one of the Singnan's dishes his way. A hardcore foodie, Lu Jin is impressed with Singnan's skill as a chef and readily recognizes her talent. Sharing a love of food, this unlikely pair begins to form an unexpected bond that leads them to a place neither of them have ever expected to be, and which is love. Number 86. Boss and Me. Big conglomerate president Feng Ting has a younger sister with a very rare blood type who needs a transfusion. He finds an employee at his company named Shui Shanshan and asks her for a blood donation. Afterwards, brother and sister are rather indebted to Sansan, but rather than using Feng Ting's typical method of paying her off, his sister suggests sending a nutritious packed lunches so Sansan can recover from the blood loss and to make the thank you more personal. Sansan loves to eat, and her enjoyment of the lunches, along with her general bright and sunny personality, slowly start melting, Feng Ting's heart. Number 85. Miss Crow with Mr. Lizard. Gu Xuan is a passion-filled, vibrant young man with his whole life ahead of him, until his life is turned upside down by a sudden traffic accident. He suffers life-threatening injuries to his heart and surgeons are able to save him only by giving him an emergency heart transplant. But when he recovers, he discovers that he is no longer allowed to perform most of the form of exercises. Worse still, the doctors warn him that experiencing strong emotions could also end his life prematurely. He tries to return to the normal life, but the changes he must make to his lifestyle take all the fizz out of his existence. He carefully avoids anything that could raise his heart rate, even if doing so turns him into a shadow of his former self. Things get another turn, however, when a woman named Jiang Xiaoning comes to work at the company he and his friend has set up. Jiang Xiaoning's own backstory is also tinged with sadness. She was orphaned at an early age. Regardless, she is a vertical font of positivity. Little by little, that positivity starts to rub off on Gu Xuan, but could this bond ever turn romantic in spite of his condition? Number 84. My Mr. Mermaid. A young swimmer tries to stage a comeback 3 years after a scandal. Tangi Bai is a former champion swimmer who was wrongfully accused of doping that derailed his competitive career 4 years ago. He returns after a 4-year hiatus to compete for the South Physical Education College alongside his best friend Shiroi Feng against their biggest rival Hengo Yang of North Physical Education College. At the competition, Ibai meets rookie sports reporter Yondo, who is assigned to cover the competition but has a fear of water due to a near-drowning incident in her past. Yondo also happens to rent a room in Ibai's family home, and the two become good friends. Can Yondo encourage Ibai to prove his innocence in his past scandal and regain his swimming glory? Number 83. The Blooms at Ruyi Pavilion. Furong is the second daughter of the powerful Fu family, but after a terrible mishap and a painful illness, she is granted the gift of foresight. Able to look into her own future, she can see great wonders and unspeakable sadness. She sees herself marrying a dashing duke named Shushujin, but she can also see that a tragic and untimely destiny also awaits her. She begins to think that her untimely end may be linked to her relationship with the duke, so decides to avoid him at all costs. However, destiny will not be so easily dissuaded. A number of dastardly plots threaten to dethrone the royal family and cast the realm into chaos. Eventually, Furong realizes that the only way she can help bring peace to the land is to join forces with the duke and attempt to do whatever it takes to change her fortunes. Number 82. Rui's royal love in the palace. The road to becoming an empress is paved with treachery. Ruyi is a consort who quickly learns to navigate the treacherous politics of the royal court and move up the ranks. After becoming empress, Ruyi still must survive the many conspiracies against her. A relationship with Emperor Xiaolong become eroded when Ruyi is able to overcome the challenges. Can Ruyi maintain her role as empress under such difficult circumstances? Number 81. A Girl Like Me. The beautiful Baroness, Duchess, Princess, she gets promoted a lot. Banhua has skirted martial bliss 3 times. Her straight-shooting manner and explosive temper ensured that each relationship ended in a disaster for the potential grooms. Despite her awful reputation, she is quite well-meaning and thoughtful deep down. Of late, her dreams have been forecasting danger around every corner. She has interpreted them quickly in order to keep her family safe and to protect those around her. Her life changes forever when she meets Count Rongxia, a young gentleman scholar whose family suffered a tragic fate. Rongxia is on the hunt for answers regarding the past, namely the true identity of those responsible for his family's demise, a secret long kept from him. A friendship is formed with Banhua, determined to help Rongxia learn the truth. As the alliance deepens, could this be a case of fourth time lucky for Banhua? Number 80. Because of You. Zhang Guoguo grew up in a wonton shop and is also the food delivery girl for the town. Although she did not receive high education, but she is loved by her neighborhood because of her enthusiastic and sincere personality. But what people don't know is that she is actually a famous embroidery workshop boss daughter, and an accident caused her to grow up in the small town. Guo Guo has a unique talent when it comes to embroidery. She is very grateful for Wang Yiyu for raising her, so she views Wang Yiyu's biological daughter Zhang Yuxin as her own family. On the road to pursuing their dreams, the two girls meet brothers Li Yunkai and Li Yunzi, and then what? The love blooms. Number 79. My Heroic Husband. A modern businessman travels back to ancient times. He lands in the body of a man about to be married as a matrilocal husband in a family of cloth merchants. He then begins incorporating modern methods and ideas to help his friends and battle corrupt local businesses. Ultimately, he becomes involved in the affairs of the country. Number 78. General's Lady. A notorious general and an aristocrat's daughter hold each other's hands to spend a lifetime together while protecting what's precious to them. Senjin grew up as the unfavored daughter of a royal family concubine. Then the emperor decrees an arranged marriage for her, choosing General Chu Xiuming, who defends the border. Although she falls in love with her chosen spouse, she finds it difficult to find her place in her new home. Using unconventional methods, she solves many of the army's problems, earning their trust and respect. Disaster strikes when a shake-up at the imperial courts result in the Chu army being targeted, Senjin's parents being held hostage, and Senjin being ordered to spy on the emperor's behalf. Can the couple weather these storms and find peace and happiness? Number 77. When a snail falls in love, Detective Zibai has to train a new recruit, the criminal profiler Shushu. Although she is great at determining one's thoughts, she doesn't know how to interact well with the people. But that's not the reason why Zibai intends to fire her. She is very talented in the art of profiling, yet lacks in physical ability, running as slowly as a snail. Still, impressed by each other's abilities, the teacher-student pair slowly fall in love in the midst of their investigations. Number 76. Handsome Siblings. The story of twin brothers who got separated at birth but grew up to be supreme martial artists. Raised to take revenge on each other, they soon find themselves becoming good friends. Together they vow to take martial arts world by storm and search for their true identities. Jiang Xiaoyu, better known as Xiaoyuar, was raised by the 10th grade villains in the Villains Valley. He was trained and brought up to think that he will be the top villain in the martial arts world. Over the years, he has learned many tricks and becomes a mischievous prankster, though with a good heart. Once he was ready to leave the Villains Valley, he meets Hua Wuxiu, who he doesn't know is actually his twin brother. Hua Wuxiu grew up in Yehua Palace under the care of Princess Yayu. Princess Yayu had a one-sided love for his father, Jiang Feng, and wanted to take revenge on him. Thus, she separated the twins at the birth and raised them with the hopes that they would become enemies and fight each other to death. Separately, Jiang Beihei, who was once a servant of Jiang Feng, teams up with his own son, Jiang Yulang, in a conspiracy that might ruin the entire martial arts world. Hua Wuxiu and Xiaoyuar team up together to try and take him down. Number 75. The Love Equations. Adorable and bubbly, Zhao Xiao is a favorite among her peers. A university literature student with a penchant for detective novels, she spends her days lost in the pages of her favorite mysteries, always eager to find out what happens next. With such a devoted love of such stories, it comes as no surprise when she finds herself falling for one of the university's forensic science majors, a seriously dedicated student in the forensic science department. Zhao Fanzhao has little time for anyone or anything other than his studies. Cold and detached, he is the last person anyone would ever expect would fall in love with. Number 74. The Eternal Love. Mu Liangxing, the 8th prince of Dongyu, is forced to marry Shu Tanra, who was already in love with Mu Liangxing's elder brother Mu Yihuai. Shu Tanra tries to commit suicide before the wedding can take place. Instead of dying, Shu Tanra wakes up with the soul of Xiaotan, a real estate agent from the modern times, in her body. Every time one of them falls unconscious or tells a lie that is incompatible with the feelings they hold in their heart, the soul in control of Shu Tanra's body switches. Although Shu Tanra's body has the same outer appearance as the Xiaotan's original body, their souls are distinct and their personalities are very different. While Shu Tanra is quiet and refined, Xiaotan is loud, mischievous and bold. Shu Tanra's history with his elder brother Mu Yihuai and her different personalities raise Mu Liangqing's suspicion even more. But he soon falls in love with Xiaotan. Xiaotan tries every method she can think of to return to her own time. But nothing seems to work. Can Xiaotan ever get back to the modern world? Number 73. Young Blood. A story that takes place during turbulent times when the Northern Song and Western Xia were at war. 6 young individuals undergo training to become spies in order to defend their country. During the reign of Emperor Renzong of the Song, the prosperous glimmer of Northern Song is clouded by looming danger. Spies have infiltrated the capital to gather intelligence and to weaken the political court of the imperial family. In order to end the war, a group of young heroes undergoes rigorous selection and training. Yuan Zhongxin is crafty, street smart, and has friends in low places. Zhao Jian is astute and a natural leader. Wang Quan is well-read, intelligent, and never lies. Xiao Jing is the peacemaker who often goes undercover. Xu Ying is the great fighter who comes from a military family. Wei Yanei is well-connected due to his status as the great commandant's son. Despite their separate backgrounds and personalities, the 6 begin to grow as a team through numerous life and death missions. Number 72. Lucky's First Love, or also known as The World Owes Me a First Love, a story about first love and romances from the perspective of 3 couples in their workplace. It follows an independent young woman brimming with potential who crosses paths with a black-bellied boss. Because of the prosperous meaning behind her name, Xing-yun is recruited by Shaki to work at his gaming company. He is determined and headstrong, a son who refused to take over the family business and choose to make it on his own. In her journey from being a sketch artist to a game designer, she experiences many extremes and jumps many hurdles in dealing with her black-bellied boss. Their continuous bickering brings them closer, and the girl who has never been in love before finds that the last hurdle is actually love. Number 71. My Fated Boy. When Lin Yang was a young girl growing up in the countryside, she formed a close friendship with a boy from the neighborhood named Lu Zheng'an. Despite the fact that she was 7 years his senior, their bond was close, and they even played the imagination games whereby they exchanged rings and married. Eventually, life pulled them in different directions and they lost touch with one another. Now aged 31, Lin Yang is working in an office job and living in rented accommodation. Life hasn't gone quite as she would have hoped, but she muddles through her daily life. But one day, her past memories come flooding back to her when Lu Zheng'an, now 24, turns up on the scene. He has been studying abroad and has just been graduated. Intent on rekindling their friendship and sparking a romance between them, he inserts himself back in her life. But try as he might, Lin Yang still sees him as the cute little kid from the neighborhood that he once was, a kind of a younger brother. He wants to convince her that his feelings are real, however, and will do his utmost to win her heart. Number 70. The Brightest Star in the Sky. Star Entertainment is the top entertainment agency in China. It was set up by a couple, Cheng Tianhao and Du Wanxing, who eventually get separated due to their different beliefs in managing the company. Yang Zhenzhen is an aspiring young girl with a passion for music. She joined Starry Sky Entertainment and was assigned as Zheng Boshu's assistant. Boshu is a popular idol who is arrogant and unruly. With the help of Zhenzhen, who helped him correct his flaws and unleash his potential, Boshu slowly transforms into a talented singer. In the process, Zhenzhen also gains experience and becomes a capable idol manager. At the same time, Du Wanxing is also grooming a singer, Ruyi, who shapes up to become Boshu's biggest competitor yet. Number 69. Go Squid to DT Appledog's time. Through his hard work and talent, Wu Bai managed to become the youngest star player of the national robot competition. He formed a team and entered the final round of the competition. On the same stage with him is Yexing, the person who initiated him into his passion. Both are determined to promote the popularization and application of technological robots in the younger generation group through the robot competition, which will accelerate the speed of the country's rejuvenation of science and technology. As competitors, Wu Bai's persistent and extraordinary talent attracts Yexing, while Yexing's passion toward her job, persistence in chasing her dreams, and outstanding tactics also earned Wu Bai's respect. The two of them supported each other through the competition and lead their respective team to the victory. Number 68. The Sword and the Brocade. Set during the Ming Dynasty, the story revolves around the romance between General Shu Lingyi and the concubine's daughter Xi Yang that starts from an arranged marriage Despite being born with a low status, Xi Yang is extremely assertive and believes that a woman's vision should not be limited to the household. She hopes to rely on her embroidery skills as a ticket to freedom. However, the once esteemed Luo family is in a state of decline. Hoping to save the clan through a marriage alliance, Xi Yang is selected to become the wife of Yongping Duke and Great General Su Lingyi. Things were not easy for her due to the Su family's biases towards her. Nonetheless, she manages to win over their trust through her optimism and sincerity. Su Lingyi also becomes attracted to her various beautiful qualities, such that husband and wife manage to find love after marriage. Through Su Lingyi's support, Xi Yang opens Xianling Pavilion to have her own embroidery workshop. Meanwhile, Su Lingyi experiences many setbacks as he tries to protect his homeland and improve the livelihood of the people by supporting the lifting of a maritime ban. As they face a crisis that could spell the end for the Shu family, Su Lingyi and Xi Yang continue to support each other through their thick and thin times. Number 67. Fights break his fear. Xiaoyan is a genius child who suddenly loses all his powers. In a world governed by strength and power, Xiaoyan's lack of talent is an embarrassment to his family. Then at the age of 15, Xiaoyan accidentally summons Yalao, Baron Chen, from his mother's ring. With the elders' help, Xiaoyan's skills improve by leaps and bounds. After his entire family is assassinated, Xiaoyan embarks on a journey to find his family's killer and return peace to the Jiangsu, which is the martial world. This drama is adapted from the Xinxia novel Battle Through the Heavens, and you guys might have watched the animated series with the same name, Battle Through the Heavens. That series is one of my favorite anime of all time. Number 66. Don't Disturb My Study. 28-year-old Nan Xiangwan is an educationist who wakes up in her senior year of high school. She finds herself in the same class with a group of students who are all special students. Nan Xiangwan retraces her path of the entrance examination and gradually reversing one's prejudice in the process of sprinting toward her dream university. Number 65. Princess Agents. The story takes place during the chaotic times of Wei, where innocent citizens are often kidnapped and turned into slaves. Slave girl Chusha was thrown into a forest along with other slaves and becomes the next hunting target for the rich lords. She is then saved by the prince of Yanbei, Yanshun. Afterward, she is brought into a powerful family of Wu Wen and witnesses their bloody power struggle. Seeing this, she swears to take her younger sister and flee from the situation. However, she catches the attention of Wu Wenyu and undergoes strict training while building a sense of companionship with Yanshun. This drama focuses on Chu Xiao's life beliefs and her struggle to survive in a cruel and unfair world. Number 64. My Youth, a story about the naivety of young love, the pureness and beauty of friendship, and the warmth of family surrounding a group of friends. Shu Shanshan loves learning about literary works. In her adolescence, she meets her best friends. Shu Meilei is lively and cheerful. Lan Tianye is handsome and uninhibited. Lin Jiazhe is gentle and refined. Tao Ya-ting is beautiful and melancholic. In their journey, they have many little secrets and many worries. Whether in high school or in college, Shu Shanshan has collected many unforgettable memories. When she turned 28, she looks around and realizes that the people with her when she was 18 are still the same people around her now. Number 63. A Little Thing Called First Love. It tells the story of an ordinary girl who falls head over heels for the most popular guy in school. Xia Miao Miao is a shy, artistic student who develops a crush on a handsome, talented classmate and embarks on a journey of self-discovery through college. Because of Liang Yunyan, Xia Miao Miao decides to make a change. Through the help of her friends, she starts to learn about fashion, join school clubs, and studies hard to raise her grades, her ordinary life becoming more colorful day by day. Number 62. Begin Again. It tells the story of a domineering female CEO and a warm doctor who turn a fake relationship into reality due to some practical reasons. Having exchanged their I-do's, they start on a new chapter of their lives as they learn to fall in love. Lu Fangning is the general manager of Luning Group, a large corporation in the business of home furniture. Lu Fangning is a woman who has it all, talented, beautiful, as well as rich. Nearing her 30s, Lu Fangning comes to the family pressures and decides that she urgently needs a husband with whom she will have a child. Coincidentally, Surgeon Ling Rui appears in front of her. Ling Rui is not only blessed with good looks but also has an angelic heart, which makes him the perfect candidate in the eyes of Lu Fangning. She schemes her way to his life and they finally become husband and wife. Lu Fangning eventually realizes the error in her ways and strives to be better. However, keeping a marriage is not easy as it seems. Number 61. Goodbye My Princess. A love story revolves around the ninth princess of Western Liang as she journeys to the Central Plains to fulfill a marriage alliance with the Crown Prince. Having received overwhelming love and admiration as the ninth princess, Xiao Feng is forced to live the life that she has known in order to become the Crown Princess. Her husband, the black-bellied Crown Prince, holds the highest position second only to one, the Emperor. However, the Stern Palace is the most dangerous place to be. For political reasons, the prince has no choice but to marry the princess from a foreign land. He has his own favored concubine, while she has her own life. Two parallel lines begin to intersect in a place fraught with danger and deadly power play, and buried somewhere deep inside are memories that have yet to resurface. Number 60. The Legends. While attempting to take her prisoner's Wanzun sword, Lu Yao is ambushed by the 10 immortal sects and dies. She mistakenly believes Li Shenlan, who is her best ally, is related to the incident after he is revealed to be the Demon King's son. 5 years later, Li Shenlan has taken over the position of Wanlu sect leader and Zhao Yao decides to exact revenge. She, who is now a spirit, possesses the body of Xin Jinyan, a female disciple of the immortal sect, and with the help of newly gained body, she becomes the direct disciple of Mo Xing, aka Lin Shenlan, with the aim of killing him. But things don't go as she planned when she slowly starts to fall in love with him instead. Meanwhile, Jiang Wu, an ambitious youth, wants to kill Lin Shenlan and become the sect leader. He is interested in Ziyan. What will happen when their lives are intertwined? Will Zhao Yao be able to regain her body back and become the sect leader again? What is the fate of Xin Ziyan, whose body Zhao Yao possesses? Number 59. Killer and Healer. A story that follows two men who are polar opposites. One kills while the other heals. One is a violent cop and the other is a compassionate doctor. Together they support and redeem each other during troubled times. Jiang Yuliu hates the Jiangqing police station and appears neither good nor evil. Yet smugglers tremble at the thought of him. While investigating an opium case in Hong Kong, Yuliu encounters Yuzi, who learns that Yuliu suffers from bipolar disorder. Although initially reluctant to undergo treatment, Yuliu eventually opens up to Yuzi. Despite their differing values, they slowly become close friends. At this time, the secrets from the past start to bubble to the surface. Number 58. Unforgettable Love. The drama revolves around He Xiaoyan, CEO of Heishi Group, and Xin Yue, a child psychologist. It tells the story of a rational and indifferent man and a soft, optimistic, considerate, and a meticulous psychologist whose relationship develops from acquaintance to love. Number 57. Gank Your Heart. Their meeting was a recipe for disaster, but their romance is sweet. This is a love story between an esports gamer and a Tisondre live streamer. Ji Xiangkong had the reputation, the good looks, and the hordes of fangirls. Xu meets him during an international competition and jumps at the chance to boost her own popularity, oblivious to the fact that his reputation in the world of esports is strangely tarnished. Instead of helping her, the association hurt her even more. The experience turns out to be a blessing in disguise as Xu finds her calling. By chance, she discovers that Ji Xiangkong is actually a misunderstood genius. Number 56. Intense Love. It tells a love story between a genius doctor and an actress who are two people who both refuse to have their marriage arranged by their parents, yet realize that love is destined. Actress Susan Bei has a beauty that can defy the heavens. With her popularity on the rise, she is used to being the center of attention. However, the dark side to fame means that she is a magnet for controversy. She may be the best at flirting, but she doesn't get any further and has been single since her birth. Chao Shi-yun is a genius doctor with the looks, the money, and the smarts. He is a perfectionist who likes to be in control but doesn't care much for many things as he can quite be indifferent. Women flock around him in droves and he doesn't bat an eye. Instead of the usual overbearing CEO that falls for the women, it is the actress who takes initiative in love this time. Number 55. The Rebel Princess. Princess Wang Xuan is a woman who is no less than any man. She intends to marry her childhood sweetheart, the third crown prince. Soon this couple will fall victim to the prophecy that states to acquire thee is to obtain the world. The imperial family has become rotten to the core as evidenced by their lavish spending with little regard for the welfare of the people. Wang Xian's father, the emperor, has found himself embroiled in court matters and is struggling to maintain power. In a political maneuver, he decrees that the princess will wed Xiaoxi, who comes from a humble background but has a strong desire to bring peace and prosperity to the nation. Together, they form an alliance to save their homeland. In time, the two will fall in love, for the princess is deeply moved and inspired by her husband's noble quest to create a better life for all. But their lives will be far from easy, as on their wedding night, Xiaoxi is forced to leave the capital. Ashamed and discouraged, Wang Xuan is then kidnapped by the Helen prince, who is enacting his revenge upon Xiaoxi. Fortunately, the crisis becomes a blessing in disguise for the couple. However, they are surrounded by the forces that threaten to destroy them and their ideals. The Wang and Shi clans are vying for power, the Empress Dowager schemes to separate them, the military has committed treasonous acts, and the Helen clan has now raised its flags in rebellion. Wang Xuan herself leads the army in order to defend the last stronghold in hopes that Xiaoxi can arrive in time with reinforcements. She will valiantly protect her husband as she delivers him to safety. Number 54. My Unicorn Girl. Sang Tian is an aspiring figure skater. On the day she turns 18, she vows to her family that she will be accepted to the same university that her mother once attended. To get in, she must pass a test, which she, an exceptionally competent skater and student, expects to ace. However, things do not go according to the plan for Sang Tian and she fails the exam. Undaunted, Sang Tian decides not to give up, and in desperation, she dresses as a male ice hockey player and joins in a trial match for the college team. She unexpectedly signs and is selected as a part of the men's ice hockey program. Things get even more complicated for her when she realizes that Wang Bin, a young man she has crossed swords with in the past, is also a part of the team. Worse still, she finds she must share a dormitory with him and struggles to keep her true identity a secret. On the ice, Sang Tian and Wang Bing prove to be the catalysts for their team's newfound success, and the team finds itself with a shot at the championship. As the two students start to get to know one another, they develop a mutual respect for one another, but could that one day turn to love? Number 53. My Love, Enlighten Me. A young 22-year-old hopeful and a kind-hearted pop star named Nuan Nuan is forced to reinvent herself after the girl group she is a member of disbands on the night of its debut. Overnight, her dreams come to a halt as she is hit with the harsh reality of her situation. While she struggles in her search for a post-pop career, her life gets intertwined with a man named Yanxi. Yanxi is a successful sound and light engineer who also happens to have an impeccable memory and a cold personality. However, despite his amazing memory, Yanxi misremembers something very important which can later threaten to jeopardize his relationship with Nuan Nuan. Meanwhile, Nuan Nuan, who has always had a keen eye for fashion, begins to explore her love for clothes, hoping to secure a permanent spot at a clothing store's headquarters. Although their relationship is often adversarial, Yanxi and Nuan Nuan also have a growing fondness for one another. Yanxi tries to help Nuan Nuan and she slowly starts to melt his icy heart. But can they withstand it when the past comes to the surface, or will it get in the way of their blooming love? Number 52. My Girlfriend is an Alien. Chen Xiaoxi, who was an alien girl from the Cape Town planet, lost her signal and then had to stay on the earth. She then encountered an overbearing boss named Fang Ling, who was suffering from the disease called rainy weather heterosexual amnesia, and he would forget the females around him. A hilarious and romantic crossover love story since then started. Chen Xiaoxi was not only an alien but also a true-handed witch. Once she inhaled the hormone emitted by the males on the earth, she would fall into a flowery state and meet many funny things after that. In order to survive on the human earth, Chen Xiaoxi used her various superpowers to solve one accident after another. Number 51. The Sleuth of Ming Dynasty. In 15th century China, a quick-witted senior ranking official named Tang Fen takes a break from his routine activities in order to investigate a murder, teaming up with martial arts specialist guardman Fu Yao in a bid to solve the case. When the peace-loving landlord of the house Tangfen is renting is found dead, the duo investigates. It is an apparent suicide, but the investigative pair quickly realizes that something looks amiss. They investigate and eventually succeed in finding a suspect they believe may have killed the landlord. But they soon learn that this murder might have did not act alone and is just a small player in a much grander scheme. As they dip deeper into the crime, the duo soon realizes that something very sinister is afoot, including a plot to launch a bloody coup. Can they stop the criminal mastermind before time runs out? Number 50. My Roommate is a Detective. Set in the mid-1920s, a resourceful young police officer named Shashu Singh is on the trial of a brutal but devious killer. Realizing that the police force will need some extra help with this difficult case, he decides to form an elite crime-busting detective team. He reaches out to a young man who has recently returned from studying in Great Britain, Fu Yao. Shashu Singh has learned that Fu Yao has remarkable powers of deduction and a brilliant mind, and he believes that he can help crack this difficult case. To round off the team, he enlists the help of Bai Yuning, a focused young female reporter for a daily newspaper, a free-thinking, independent young woman. She has a strong sense of justice and pledges to help catch the killer. The trio form a small detective squad that specializes in solving strange and unsettling murder mysteries. Number 49. The Rise of Phoenix. Feng Ziwei is the unfavored daughter of the Shu family who has to flee due to unfortunate circumstances. Owing a favor to the sixth prince, Ningyi, Ziwei cross-dresses as a man to attend the prestigious Xingming Academy and becomes a supreme scholar to the emperor. She remains loyal and honest to the reigning emperor during the prince's fight for the throne while falling in love with Ningyi, who seeks to unravel mysteries from his past and seek revenge for his beloved ones. Although their love for each other is true, can they maneuver the scheming and countless hurdles thrown in their way? Number 48. The Princess Wei Young. The Northern Wei Dynasty was obliterated one night, leaving behind the kind-hearted princess Feng Xinar as an orphan. Although she escapes death, she accidentally enters her enemy's territory and she assumes the identity of Li Wei Young, the daughter of the Prime Minister. She suffers many hardships, but eventually utilizes her wisdom and sense of justice to become a powerful woman as well as gaining a beautiful romance. Number 47. Maiden Holmes. It is the 6th century CE and the Shi Kingdom and is what is now Eastern China and is a land at war. The young teenage prince Xiao Yanxi, a prodigal young military talent, is sent to ward off a force of invaders. Although he makes a valiant effort, his army is ultimately ambushed and defeated in a decisive battle. An opportunist foe at the imperial court takes advantage of the situation, forcing Pei Yanxi to step down as the head of the army and manages to get a young subservient candidate to take the throne. Pei Yanxi then feels that he was betrayed. He wants to get to the bottom of the intrigue and goes undercover to investigate, pretending to be a commoner to help him work undetected. On his quest for the truth, he meets a remarkably smart and resourceful young female detective named Shushi. Together they form a close bond, then they team up with the two other quick-witted young sleuths and make a joint bid to discover the scale of the scheming that has undermined the imperial palace. Number 46. Perfect and Casual. This story revolves around the cold and icy male god Professor Zhang Xinyan and the calm and sunny Yunshu. After a fractious first meeting, where Yunshu raced down the specially finicky Xinyan, she was shocked to find out that he was in fact her university lecturer. Through a series of coincidental encounters, the two agreed to engage in a contractual marriage. As the feelings between them grow, how will they keep their relationship a secret from all of those around them? Number 45. Legend of Fu Yao. Adopted as an orphan, Fu Yao served as a slave for the Xuanyuan sect in Taiwan Kingdom. After a series of tragedies, she journeyed across the land searching to lift the curse that blighted her life. Along the way, she meets the crown prince of Taishuan, Zhangshun Wuzi, and falls in love with him. Together they tackle many political issues in the Five Kingdoms and unearth secrets regarding her birth. Number 44. When We Were Young. A nostalgic story that revolves around high school students during the year 1996. While chasing down a bike thief during the summer, Yanxi gets injured by a lab explosion that renders her unable to compete in a long distance run. When school opens, she realizes that the culprit behind her misfortune has transferred to her class and has even taken her position as class president. He is Fu Yao, a hot-blooded, rash and gentle genius of the science department. Fu Yao's arrival immediately puts his classmate on guard and he must prove himself to be accepted by the class. Later on, they go through lots of ups and downs in life. Number 43. A Love So Beautiful. It starts off with high school classmates Chen Xiaoxi and Jiang Chen, who are also neighbors. Xiaoxi, a cheerful girl who doesn't study much, is expressive about her admiration towards Jiang Chen, the popular guy known for his looks and high grades. Together with their fellow classmates, the funny Lu Yang, athletic but loyal Jing Xiao, and cool swimming team member Wu Bo Song, they embark on high school life to university until their adult life. Number 42. Love Me If You Dare. Getting inside the head of a violent criminal is not easy, but Simon Bozinian, a brilliant criminal psychologist, has the ability to get into the minds of even the most mysterious and violent criminals. He was a professor at the University of Maryland and works as an analyst and advisor on the police department's most violent or difficult cases. With the help of his young assistant, Zeni Xinyao, Simon delves into the thought and intentions of the criminal mind. As the daughter of a veteran police investigator with a deep sense of justice, can Jenny find Simon open up emotionally as they work together to solve crimes? Number 41. Love and Destiny. A love story between the god of war and a young maiden whose very existence can bring harm to the world. 50,000 years ago, Jiao Chen, known as the god of war, fall into a deep slumber after sealing away the demon lord. Ling Shi accidentally wakes him up from his sleep and they fall in love. It is discovered that Ling Shi was born with an evil Maishama that can help the demon lord break free and allow the demon tribe to rise to power. Jiao Chen refuses to kill an innocent and tries to change Ling Shi's fate. Through the encouragement of Jiao Chen, Ling Shi, who was once innocent and naive, transforms into a brave leader in a fight against evil. Number 40. Moonlight. After graduating university with a major in financing, Choli successfully enters her dream company, Yuanwei Publishing House. However, a challenging path lies ahead of her when she finds out that the publishing industry at this time has undergone huge changes. There she meets author Zhua Xuan, who is said to be gentle as a jade when he is really not. The two are immediately at odds, with Joshua later discovering that Julie is in fact his online friend, Monkey. And then the fun of the drama begins. Number 39. Love O2O. Shaunai is a gaming expert who, courtesy of his basketball skills, academic excellence, swimming talent, and game company presidency, also happens to be the most popular student on campus. When he first comes across the gorgeous computer science major, Bei Wei, the infinitely talented wonder kid immediately falls in love. But it's not Wei Wei's look that he first notices, it is the ridiculous mastery with which she is commanding her guild and owning everyone in an online multiplayer game that makes her impossible to forget. Now, Shaunai must use his skills both in real life and online to capture the adorable but dorky Wei Wei's heart. But does their love have the XP to succeed, or will this relationship never level up? Number 38. Evernight. When a family was unjustly massacred by a great general, a young boy named Ningxiu escaped. He managed to survive in the wilds through his wits and growing fighting skills. One day, he dug out from a pile of corpses a baby girl that he then named Sang Sang. Since that day, the two of them are inseparable. Ningxiu joined the frontier military and eventually became the part of the intrigue of Princess Liu as he traveled back to the capital. He managed to discover the hidden school known as the Upper Story, which leads him and Sang Sang to many wondrous adventures. Many hostile forces are gathering around them, and people are not who they appear to be. Is Ningxiu the son of the king of underworld or the savior of the humanity against the eternal night? Ningxiu would defy the powers of heaven and earth to protect his beloved ones and take their revenge. Number 37. Douluo Continent. One of my favorite anime of all time is Soul Land. And if you guys have not watched that anime, I will recommend you to watch that anime first, then you could watch or even consider to watch this drama. Having lost his mother at a very young age, Tangsun grew up relying on his father, just as much as his father relied upon him. Meticulous and mature from his age, with extraordinary talent and wit, he was sent to Nording Academy at the age of 16 to begin pursuing his dream of becoming a great soul master. There, under the tutelage of Yu Xiaogang, he befriends an orphan by the name of Xiao, and together they begin the long and difficult journey of cultivation. As time passes, the two friends draw ever closer, eventually swearing to look out for each other as siblings for life. As their power and connection grow, Ye Xiaogang realizes that they need more guidance that he can provide, sending the pair to the Shrik Academy. Tangshan and Xiao join 5 other prodigies from various academies in their journey of cultivation. Strong in their power, the 7 students become known throughout the land as the Shrik 7 Devils. When their fame ever growing, the talents of 7 are eventually noticed by a few very prominent nobles who invite them to continue their cultivation at the esteemed Tiando Royal Academy. Not long after accepting the invitation, the 7 Devils find themselves caught up in an imperial struggle for power between the first and fourth princess. At the same time, Tangshan uncovers a long hidden secret about his mother's death, suddenly facing battles on many fronts. Tangshan finds himself forced to fight not only to protect those he loves but to bring honor to his sect, save his country, and complete his quest to become the greatest soul master of all time. Number 36. Love Scenery. Liang Chen is devoted to bringing good music works to the listeners, expressing the idea of being kind, real, and perfect. Losing, on the other hand, loves computer and big data research. He is highly recognized in academic field through studying complicated human behavior and then psychology, thus influencing the classmates around by his solid specialty literacy. They are strangers at first but then brought together by big data, and they become closer in the journey of pursuing their dreams. Number 35. The Imperial Coroner. Young girl Chu Chu came from a family of coroners. She meets Prince Xiaojinyu, a dignified prince in charge of criminal lawsuit, who appeared weak and sickly. Prince Xiao lacks reliable manpower to investigate case, while Chu Chu lacks people to set up, take charge, and be a man. Together they manage to unravel a shocking case that has dragged on for 18 years. After solving the case, she won the Imperial's approval and is finally certified as the Imperial Coroner, fulfilling her life goal. Number 34. Under the Power. In the final years of reign of Jiangxing Empire during the Ming Dynasty, Louis of Wei is commissioned to investigate the disappearance of the funds that have been set aside for river repairs in Yangzhou. He is assisted by Wang Jinxia of the Liushmen. The two accidentally become involved in a conspiracy. The talented female constable, Wang Jinxia, gets into a disagreement with the hot-tempered Wei Louis over a case that they are both involved in. Jinxia thought that she would never encounter Louis again in this lifetime, yet fate has its way of bringing two people back together. Government funds have been stolen and Jinxia receives orders to assist Louis in his investigation. Number 33. Put your head on my shoulder. On the cusp of graduation, an accounting major, searching for her career, winds up living with a genius physics student who shakes up her daily routine. Situmo is a graduating student. As someone who got used to having her whole life planned out for her, she is at a loss about her future and can't find the courage to make a decision for herself. Because the school districts have merged, physics major Gu Wei barks into her life. They clash repeatedly without noticing that they are slowly walking into each other's heart. To their surprise, they accidentally end up having to live together. Number 32. The Prince of Tennis. Lucia is a tennis prodigy who lived overseas since he was a child with his parents. He has inherited his father's outstanding strength and tennis talent. However, trapped under the shadow of his father, Lucia only sees tennis as a tool to win over him, losing the passion and happiness in playing tennis altogether. Upon returning to China, he joins in a high school tennis team and meets various tennis masters. Here he begins to realize the meaning of tennis and figure out his own identity as a player. In the process of working to win the National League, Lucia and his teammates learn to work as a group and understand the importance of friends. Number 31. Skate into Love. A short-track speed skating girl crosses paths with the ice hockey god of their school. Despite starting off on the wrong foot, they start on a journey to chase after their dreams. During elementary school, the timid and cowardly Liu Bing had to endure his seatmate Tang Xiu's constant bullying. Even so, they share one thing in common, a dream on the ice. When they meet again at Linda University, Liu Bing has already become the school's ice god, while Tang Xiu's future remains hazy. Liu Bing pulls a few strings to turn Tang Xiu into his helper with the goal of getting payback for everything that she did. The more they spend time together, the more Liu Bing notices Tang Xiu's good qualities. He realizes that his courage on ice is inspired by Tang Xiu herself. In turn, he helps Tang Xiu rediscover her dream in speed skating. Problems arise when misunderstandings from the past catch up to them. Figure skating prodigy Yu Yan enters the picture. Tang Xiu's first love, Bai Sheng, also returns while school beauty Zhao Ran continues to make trouble. As they face roadblocks from the disapproving parents and fierce competitors, they land in the crossroad that will decide their sports career. As the two impassioned youths put on their skates, they glide into the unknown but exciting future ahead. Number 30. Crossfire. In 2008, Xiaofeng is a downcast esports team leader who is barely keeping his team together. Esports is in its infancy and there is little money to be earned. Xiaofeng's team is looked down upon and ridiculed, yet they insist on fighting for their dreams. In 2019, Lu Xiaobei is a genius in the same game, a masterful player. In reality, he is a disabled young man in a wheelchair. He vowed to continue his brother's legacy to become a professional esports player, yet loses his chance to join a professional team. Despite living 11 years apart, a cosmic glitch allowed the two to transcend space and time as they chance upon each other within the same game. From a position of mutual distrust to that of a camaraderie, they form their own teams and help each other grow in life and as players to achieve their dreams. Number 29. Crush. Sang Woo-yan, a college senior, dreams of becoming a broadcaster. She works as an assistant at a radio station and likes a mysterious songwriter with the name Izin. She fell in love at first sight after a chance meeting with Shun Yanxian and later discovers that he is visually impaired. Layer by layer, Sang Woo-yan peels off Shun Yanxian's elusive, arrogant, and indifferent self due to his broken family. She then learns that he was in fact the talented Izin. Their interactions lead to a sweeping romance, but the couple find themselves in a tug of war between their hard-earned happiness and a fear of loss. Mounting pressure eventually leads to a breakup. 3 years later, the two people who have gone down different paths meet again and their love quickly rekindled. Number 28. Guardian. A world beyond scientific understanding with a group of passionate adults trying to solve cases done by such forces. Zhao Yunlan and Shen Wei are tasked with upholding peace between underworld dwellers and humans, and the story will focus on their friendship that transcends past and present lifetimes. Number 27. Love is Sweet. Jiangzun is a girl who is allergic to tears and has a double degree in economics and psychology. She is unrestrained and idealistic due to her family's superior background. After graduation, she worked in a philanthropy organization where she pursues her dreams. However, her father's sudden accident leaves her in a dilemma. Eventually, she decides to work in a top investment company to fulfill her father's dying wish. In MH, Jiangzun meets her childhood playmate Yuan Shuai. However, the current Yuan Shuai is no longer her gentle protector but her rival. In MH, where the culture of wolf instinct is rampant, someone is plotting against Jiangzun while someone sees her as an eyesore. However, with her kind nature and attention to details, along with her high EQ and sense of judgment, Jiangzun eventually attains success in both her career and love life. Number 26. Forever Love. A story that follows two people's brave pursuit of love from their campus days to their humble beginnings as they enter the workplace to chase after their dreams together. Xiaolinxi's senior year is full of radiance while Jiang Zhenhan's is in peril. Jiang Zhenhan is doing everything he can to earn money and ends up becoming the tutor of a very unwillingly Xiaolinxi, who still hasn't forgotten their terrible first meeting when the two felt love for the first time. It was just so sweet and pure. It's the kind of love that you want to profess to the world, but it wasn't until after their exams that their feelings become more clear. Just as they wished, Xiaolinxi and Jiang Zhenhan are admitted to the same university. From their youth to adulthood, from the school to the workplace, from a school uniform to a wedding dress, they have each other as a lifelong companion. Number 25. Arsenal Military Academy. Xixiang joins the army in her brother's stead by pretending to be a man. She becomes classmates with the wealthy Gu Yanzhen and the calm Shin Junshan. Through their rigorous training, the three form a bond to become comrades, all while Xixiang tries to keep her cover. After many incidents, Xixiang earns the respect of her peers and superiors. She also becomes the object of affections of the two men in her lives. The Japanese military stations more forces in the northeast region, causing the young heroes to engage in a battle as they uncover a big conspiracy. Number 24. The Day of Becoming You. The leader of a boy band and entertainment reporter are forced into many outrageous situations after they switched bodies. Zhang Yi is a big star in the entertainment industry. He is the cold and distant leader of a popular boy band, but in reality, he is simply not good at expressing himself ever since his parents divorced when he was young. Meanwhile, Yu Xingxing has become an entertainment reporter who keeps running up against a stone wall at work. Their lives were not meant to intersect, but an accident results in the two exchanging bodies on their birthday, which happens to fall on the same day. The sudden change catches them off guard, and with only each other to turn to for support in the days and nights that followed, Zhang Yi and Yu Xingxing gradually fall in love. Number 23. Battle of Changsha. It retells the turbulent events of the Second Sino-Japanese War from the perspective of the Hu family, particularly through the eyes of a 16-year-old girl named Xiangxiang and her twin brother Xiaoman. Gu Xingming is a strict intelligence officer in the nationalist army from a prominent political family. The feisty, fun-loving Xiangxiang and the arrogant Gu Xingming start off on bad terms. However, their romance blossoms as they constantly bump into each other. Number 22. My Little Happiness. Kongrong has long dreamed of becoming a lawyer, but her mother is absolutely determined to see her daughter study finance abroad. Hoping that her daughter will successfully settle down somewhere overseas, Kongrong's mother won't take a no for an answer. Unable to convince her mother to let her pursue her dreams, Kongrong has no choice but to do as her mother wishes, or does she? After successfully convincing her mother that she has set off for distant lands, Kongrong secretly returns home to begin work as a legal intern. Taking on her first case, Kongrong comes face to face with her childhood friend, Wen Shaoxing. Now a surgeon, Shaoxing isn't just Kongrong's client, he is also her landlord and next door neighbor. Tied together by the ever-tightening strings of fate, Kongrong and Shaoxing find themselves drawing closer despite their best efforts. Engaged in a never-ending battle of wits, the childhood friends may fight against the ties that bind them, but how long will they be able to resist the inevitable? Number 21. Go Squid. A cute romance between an adorable singer who develops a crush on a guy that she's too scared to approach. He is a genius in the field of computer engineering and a legend in the world of professional gaming. It is late evening when Hang Shanyan walks into an internet cafe. While helping her cousin wash the shop, Tong Nian catches just a glimpse of Hang Shanyan and immediately falls head over heels for him. She is usually brave, outgoing, and has tens of thousands of followers from singing covers online. But she fumbles whenever she encounters him. She is used to interviews but can't even utter a word when speaking to him. He is cold, hard to reach, and not the type of guy to be interested in girls. But Tong Nian's unique personality and her persistent ways to get close to him begin to catch his attention. Number 20. Coup de Foudre, or I Only Like You. Zhao Xiaoyi and Yanmo may have been high school classmates, but the only thing they had in common was the desk they shared in the class. One is a top student and the other falling miserably. These two couldn't have been more different, and yet it doesn't take long for a strong bond to form between them. Promising to study abroad together after high school, this unlikely pair seems to have the world before them. But when an unexpected family emergency forces Xiaoyi to back out on their plans, the two drift apart and eventually lost touch. 4 years later, the long-lost friends are reunited and old flames are quickly rekindled. Finally willing to accept her feelings for Yanmo, Xiaoyi moves back to the city, determined to pick things up where they left off all those years ago. But with Yanmo already in a relationship, Xiaoyi's love seems destined to fail. But is it really? Unbeknownst to Xiaoyi, Yanmo hasn't forgotten his old friend, nor the feelings he has for her. Unable to express those feelings, Yanmo chooses to keep his action and his feelings a secret. Always moving in the background, He works tirelessly to take care of his high school friend, but how long will he able to keep this up before she realizes the truth? Number 19. The King's Avatar. In the multiplayer online game Glory, Yeshu is well known as a textbook level expert and top tier player Yeshu. Due to a series of circumstances, he was forcefully expelled out of his professional team. After leaving the pro gaming scene, he resides at an internet cafe employed as one of the managers. When Glory launches their 10th server, he throws himself into the game once more. Equipped with 10 years of gaming experience, memories of the past, and an incomplete self-made weapon, his journey back to the top begins. Number 18. Ancient Love Poetry. It follows Sango, once a leader of the Four Immortals, who falls into a deep sleep after sacrificing herself in a trial that lasted 60,000 years. Sango wakes up many years later, and memories of what happened 300 years ago were completely wiped. But her former lover, Baizoe, never forget about her. Sacrificing his reincarnation for her life, he waited for her for 60,000 years. Even when his soul disappears, Sango will wait for him forever. Number 17. The Romance of Tiger and Rose. Having finally sold a TV series script, aspiring screenwriter Chen Xiaoxian soon falls under the scrutiny of the main lead, who refuses to act out the role. Wanting to make her script successful, she starts rewriting, but while taking a nap, she is transported into her own story, becoming the third princess, Chen Xianshan, a side character killed off in the third episode by the main lead, Prince Han Shuo. Armed with the knowledge of her own script, Xiaoxian is determined to stay alive and find her way back home. Number 16. Word of Honor. Zhao Jishu, the disillusioned leader of a Royal Praetorian Secret Service, takes drastic measures to leave his former life behind and wanders the pugilistic world. He unexpectedly gets involved in a conspiracy after he steps in to save a young boy. There he also meets the mysterious Wen Kexing, the master of the Ghost Valley. They become bosom friends through a series of adventures involving a legendary treasure that is rumored to give its owner ultimate power over the pugilistic world. Number 15. Eternal Love of Dream. Queen of Xingqiu, Bai Fengzhu is the only red nine-tailed fox in the world. One day, Fengzhu is attacked by a savage beast while seeking cultivation in the mountains and is saved by the first emperor of heaven, Donghua. Grateful and feeling indebted, Fengzhu accompanies Donghua to vanquish the demon lord. As the two spend time together, Fengzhu realizes that her gratitude towards Donghua has slowly evolved into love. Unfortunately, Donghua has long forgotten what love is. Although the coldest hearts can melt with time, will countless lifetimes be sufficient to bring these two hearts together? Number 14. You Are My Hero. As a new resident at the bustling Metropolitan Hospital, Mika's life is far from boring. With a steady stream of patients to see and a variety of training exercises to complete, Mika has little time for anything other than her work. But she doesn't mind. The chance to help people and save lives is all she has ever wanted, and she is all happy that she has finally found a way to make the dream of her become true. Ever want to volunteer when a new opportunity to help others arises? Mika joins a joint emergency rescue training exercise between the hospital and the police SWAT team, a decision that will change her life forever. When a deadly earthquake shakes the very foundations of the world, Mika is a part of the team ordered to the epicenter of the quake to help with rescue operations, joined by a team of military personnel including Sinkele, a special ops agent who first met Mika through a series of misunderstandings that left them both with a less than favorable impression of each other. Mika and her medical team set out on a mission fraught with danger. Despite their initial misgivings, Sinkele and Mika have no choice but to put aside their differences to help those hit hardest by the recent earthquake. Working side by side, their feeling towards each other actually begin to soften as they observe how tirelessly each works to save lives. When the nation in which they are working is thrown into turmoil, Mika and the rest of the medical team find themselves in a very real danger. Putting his life on the line, Sinkele is determined to come to their rescue. But will he be able to get to them in time? Number 13. The Long Ballad. The year is 626 CE and the realm and its political center Chang'an are second to its score by the Xuanwu Gate incident, a successful palace coup to take charge of the Tang dynasty. a scheming prince, leads the blood coup and kills the family of Li Changyi during the raid, although she manages to escape. Now the prince has placed himself on the imperial throne and rules as Emperor Taizong. Li Changyi has her mind firmly set on revenge and musters a powerful army intent on overthrowing the new emperor. But her plans are thrown into disarray when she suffers an unexpected defeat against the armies of Eastern Turkey Khanate. The victorious general Asinasun decides to keep her in his service, making her his military strategist as he looks to pursue his own military goals. The duo forms a formidable military partnership, and over time, she finds herself falling for her captor, and he also starts developing feelings for her. Number 12. Ashes of Love. 4,000 years ago, when Jinmi was born, her fate was already sealed. She is to be a prisoner in Xuzing. Jinmi's mother, Zifen, a flower deity, abandons her for the afterlife. Near death, Zifen feeds her infant daughter the unfailing pill and orders her subordinates to keep her identity a secret from Jinmi. 4,000 years later, Zhu Feng, the second son of the Heavenly King and the fire deity, is caught in an enemy trap, leading him to Xuzing, where Jinmi comes to his rescue. Over the following century, these fated souls find comfort in one another. Number 11. Falling into your smile. Student Tong Yao makes two vows: to never be in a relationship with someone in the same field and to make up for the Chinese League of Legends. When Tong Yao earns her spot as the first formal female player in the China's professional league, she catches the attention of an elite team captain. Facing doubts and inconveniences, she meets each challenge with her own persistence and her teammates' support. After much effort, what will become of her vows? Will she stand on the world stage to make up for the 6 years of regret? Will she avoid a romantic entanglement within the e-sport world? Number 10. Story of Yanxi Palace. In the 18th century Beijing, during the 6th year of Qianlong's reign, Wei Yinglu enters the Forbidden City as their embroider to investigate the truth behind her older sister's rape and murder, believing that the Imperial Guard Fusha Fuheng to be the prime suspect. Yingluo schemingly approaches her sister, Empress Fusha Rongin, and is transferred to work as her maid. However, the kind-hearted Empress quickly takes a liking to Yingluo's street smart and plucky attitude, teaching her to read and write, becoming her benefactor, while Fusha Fuheng falls in love with her and supports her investigation. Realizing that the Fusha siblings are innocent of the crime, Yingluo moves her attention to the other people in the palace in hopes of finding the perpetrator, all while protecting the Empress from the harem's conspiracies as she rises through the ranks. Number 9. Hikaru no Go. On a hunt for treasure and extra cash, 6th year primary school student Si Guang discovered an old Go board in his grandfather's house. Upon touching the Go board, he was possessed by the spirit of a Go master from the southern dynasty during the reign of Emperor Song named Chuing that resides within. Chuing dedicated his life to the game of Go, and under his influence, Si Guang gradually developed a passion for the game. Number 8. Love and Redemption. 1,000 years since the battle between the demons and the heavens took place, the souls of the star of Mosha and the god of war are sent to the mortal realm to serve penance. In the mortal realm, Chu Xuanzi, daughter of the Shuang sect leader, is deprived of her 6 senses. At a tournament, she meets Yu Shifeng, a skilled disciple of Lise Palace who was born on the same day as her, and the two develop a friendship. Promising to meet again, Shifeng returns to his sect, where he is punished for breaking the rules and forced to wear a mask that could potentially harm his life, while Xuanzi leaves her home to train in martial arts. 4 years later, their destinies intertwine anew. While traveling together, recovered memories from their past lives begin to surface, revealing secrets and conspiracies involving themselves and the 3 realms: demon, heavenly, and the mortal. These revelations have a profound impact on their relationship, creating an imbalance in all 3 realms. Number 7. You Are My Glory. A story that follows an aerospace engineer Yutu and the shining star Xiao Jingxing. A decision to start gaming in order to save her endorsement deal brings her face to face with an old crush. As they grow closer, the two forge ahead to become each other's glory. Being a well-known celebrity, Xiao Jingxing has to keep up appearances to maintain her multifaceted image. Alas, one starts to crack when someone leaks a video of her playing an online game and being just terrible at it. which is completely inconsistent with the image she has created for herself as the game's ambassador. Thus, she joins a gaming competition to prove her skills and to prevent herself from losing her endorsements. Xiao Jingxing decides to use all her free times towards improving her game, and her decision leads to reconnect with her old high school classmate Yuto, whom she once had a crush on. He was a legend at their school, outstanding in everything that he does, while Xiao Jingxing was just your average girl. Yuto has gone on to become an aerospace engineer who is also an expert gamer. It seems that the online game has brought them together once more, so she asks him to become her gaming coach. Number 6. The Story of Ming Lan. Set in the northern Song Dynasty, this story follows Sheng Ming Lan, an unfavored concubine born sixth daughter of an official. After losing her mother at a young age, Ming Lan is then raised by her parental grandmother. Growing up, she learns to hide her true genuine self and use crafty and cunning methods in order to survive the tough conditions where family members are plotting against each other and where no actual family love exists. She then meets Gu Tengye, the second son of a rich Marquis household who is supposed to inherit wealth from both the parents and a noble title. Unlike Minglan, Gu Tengye is straightforward with his actions and never hides his true self, causing him to fall victim to all the planning and plotting against him, where he ends up losing everything. Minglan and Gu Tengye join forces, and through cunning schemes and daring endeavors, they both rise in position and work to obtain justice from those that have wronged them. Number 5. 10 Miles of Peach Bloom, aka The Eternal Love. The nine-tailed fox Baixian, the youngest daughter of the Fox King, is brought to Kunlun Mountain to become a disciple of the god of war, Moyan. While studying there, a war breaks out that leads to Moyan sacrificing his life to seal a demon lord. 70,000 years later, Baixian attempts to also sacrifice her life to reseal the demon lord, but is instead thrown to the mortal realm where she loses all her memories and divine power. Living alone on a remote mountain, Baixian saves Crown Prince Yehua of the Nine Heavens, who is actually her fiancé in heaven and greatly resembles the late Moyan. The two start falling in love, not knowing the true identity of the other person, and their love tribulation that involves them meeting in 3 different lives and 3 different worlds. Number 4. Joy of Life. Fanxian grew up in a small town by the sea with his grandmother. After an unexpected visit from a poison master, his peaceful life becomes filled with hardships and even danger. He becomes skilled in medicine, the art of poison creation, the martial arts. Needing to discover more about his mysterious mother, he heads for the capital. There he sets out on an adventure of discovery filled with political intrigue, new marvels, and deeply buried family secrets. More importantly, he determines his purpose in life and finds true love along the way. Number 3. Go Ahead. Probably one of my favorite Cdramas of all time. The story revolves around 3 troubled youths who find solace in their common experiences to become the best family that they can be for each other. Growing in dysfunctional households, 3 individuals who are unrelated by blood treat each other like a family as they yearn for the love that they cannot find at home. Eldest brother Ling Xiao, second brother Hizekyu, and the youngest sister Li Jianjian grow up together, experiencing life's joy and strife as they support each other's chosen paths. As Ling Xiao and Hizekyu graduate from high school, they return to their original families. 9 years later, the 3 are reunited, but the heartaches from their complicated family past become a shadow that constantly lingers. Can they finally fix their personal issues to become better versions of themselves? Number 2. The Untamed. Wei Wuxian and Lan Wanzi, 2 talented disciples of respected clans, meet during cultivation training and accidentally discover a secret carefully hidden for many years. Taking on the legacy of their ancestors, they decide to rid the world of the ominous threat. But in a dramatic turn of events, Wei Wuxian dies. 16 years later, Wei Wuxian is brought back to the life through a self-sacrificing ritual. He conceals himself behind a mask and assumes the identity of his summoner. Soon, Wei Wuxian reunites with Lan Wanzi and starts working together to solve the mysteries of the present and unravel the truth behind the past's events. Number 1. Nirvana in Fire. In 6th century China, Emperor Xiao Xuan of southern Liang orders the unjust execution of his brother-in-law, General Lin Shi, alongside the Lin family. his 70,000 army soldiers, and Crown Prince Shi. Secretly surviving the massacre, Lin Xi's son, Lin Shu, undergoes medical treatment that changes his appearance entirely and leaves him in a weakened state. Unable to perform martial arts again, Lin Shu changes his name to Mei Changshu and later becomes the chief of the pugilistic world and establishes the Jiangsu alliance. 12 years later, Lin Shu returns to the capital with a secret plan after being sought after by Prince Yu and Prince Xian during their fight for the throne. He decides to covertly assist Prince Xing, the unfavored son of the emperor, and wisely reads the court of all scheming officials. So that was it guys, the video ends here. I hope you have liked this video. If you have watched the video till here, give this video a like and subscribe to draMa YT. And yet you guys have not followed me on the Instagram handle, which is right in front of you. It is called dramayt.k2. Follow me there as well. And I will see you later as always. Your K2. Love, peace and hugs. It's been a pleasure.